All right, so we got the call being recorded. Amy hopefully can dial in and we can hear her if she needs to ask any questions. So anyway, it's the last call of the year, and I mean, this is it. This is the year is over, so we're hoping for two more closings to come in. We have a certain goal that we try to hit every month. And so, but anyway, so with this call here, I mean, one, I hope everybody had a wonderful Christmas. Mine was quiet. I mean, I have two kids, and one doesn't live at home, so I had the two kids come by, and one was with his mom. It was his week with his mother. So they came by. We had fun. We shared some gifts and had some fun. My son had to leave. My daughter and I got to watch uh, Die Hard, which is kind of a Christmas staple anymore. It used to be Jimmy Stewart movie. Now it's Die Hard, right? So, but anyway, I hope all of you had a good, wonderful, blessed Christmas. I felt mine was good. So, and it's also slow. But here's the thing: today's still kind of a slow time. It's still holiday mode. Tomorrow is the last day of the holiday season, so which means Wednesday, it kind of hits the fan. I remember years ago when I was at Wardley. This would have been back in this would have been like January of 1996. So that was back when the MLS was first on a computer, and it wasn't a web-based version. You literally had to dial in, and because it was a dial-in, they only had so many phone banks to dial in, and so January 2, it was just busy all the time trying to get in and log into the MLS all day. Was just brutal. So when they had a room, they had like a little day desk where they had about four computers sitting there. And when people were like, hey, don't hang up, don't hang up, don't hang up, they'd get out of the chair and you'd log them out of their account, and then you would log in on your account, your user login. Back then it was all DOS login. I don't know if anybody remembers that, but if you wanted to search bedrooms, you searched an area, so you would type AR:102 and then enter BA would stood for bathrooms. You put 1-2, and then BE stood for bedrooms. BE:3-4, that kind of stuff. I mean, so those are. But the point I'm trying to make is that soon as the holiday's over, it is busy. People are active. Anybody that was considering moving, had maybe plans of doing it, or they maybe had a situation in their life that's causing them to move. And then, it's the holidays, so they're not going to do it right during the holiday themselves, but they're going to think about doing it on, right after the holiday. So it may take them a week to get their house ready or to undecorate it, that type of stuff. But anybody that's considering, that has been considering over the holidays, and I would say from Thanksgiving on, that was thinking about maybe waiting till after the new year, then January 2 is the day to be pounding the phones. I mean, it is get on the phones, call everybody. And one of the best lines I like is, instead of if you're not very comfortable with just calling and asking for business, a great line to use is, hey, look, I'm working with this family, and I'm having a hard time finding just the right house. And I was wondering, who do you know that may be considering selling? Now, be real generic about that. You don't want to say, hey, I'm working, I got a family that's looking for a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2-car garage, fenced in yard in a certain neighborhood. Well, then obviously they're not going to know anybody in that. So you want to be very generic, so that, because we don't care, we're just looking for sellers. But the approach is, when you take the approach that you are serving someone else rather than just asking for business, it's easier for you to do it. Now, we all have a buyer that we can think of that we haven't been able to find a home. Usually, if we can't find a buyer home, a lot of times they're either their motivation is not high enough, or their expectations are not realistic. So, and that's fine, which is fine. You could still use that buyer in your conversation. Hey, I have a buyer that we're having a hard time finding a home for. And I was just wondering, who do you know that may be considering selling? And then they go, I don't know. They say, hey, can you think of anybody at work maybe? And just kind of like kind of poke their brain a little bit, like as in a memory jogger. Anybody at church, anybody at work, anybody in the neighborhood, whatever, anybody in your Awanas club, whatever it is that you know them from that. So that's a great way to ask for business if you have a little bit of call reluctance. So, but, and I just encourage you to get over call reluctance and make the calls. So I was listening to Mike Ferry, listening to Brian Buffini, and they all talk about, disruption and technology, this technology, that. But according to Brian Buffini's numbers, only 9% of buyers find their agent on the internet. 9%. So, I mean, that's like, so, and then they're saying like 80% of all deals either come from some sort of referral or a previous agent. Now, I heard different numbers for that at the NAR. Brian Buffini had his own research, and he has obviously the money to do his own research. But think about that. If they're coming from referrals, then you got to get on the phone and start looking for referrals. So one of the things I've been going through with agents just joining the company is, obviously got to have your SOI list, So one of the things I wanted to talk about with your SOI, have you, is anybody here, you can answer or not answer, but if you're not familiar with what are called custom audiences in Facebook. So in Facebook, what a custom audience is, you can upload a spreadsheet of a name, phone number, and email. And if they have a Facebook account that's tied to either that phone number or that email address, then they'll be put into a list, and then you can actually run ads to that list. So you can sit there and literally just run ads to your SOI. Because if you upload, about 80% of the people you have, they're either their cell phone number or their email address is going to have a Facebook account tied to it. If it's their work email address, well, then that's obviously going to lower the odds. However, if you have their personal email address and their personal cell phone, you'll probably hit about 80% of those of your list. And you can just run Facebook ads to that group. So, I mean, and it's about working your SOI, because the days of working Facebook where you post something on Facebook and, 1 million people are seeing it, those days are over. Those days are long gone. If you want more people to see your Facebook post, you got to pay, period. So, y'all see it, because have you ever noticed that when you search Facebook, it's usually the same 20 to 30 people, that's all you're seeing posts from? Rarely do you see posts from other people unless you go up to the upper right. Up into the upper left-hand corner, and when you're on your homepage in the upper left-hand corner, there's a thing that says News Feed, and if you click on the 3 dots, it'll say Top Stories or Most Recent. So Most Recent will actually show you everything in chronological order. So the other one is Top Stories. So Top Stories are basically, it's only showing you posts from people that are that have active posts, that have posted something and they're getting a lot of likes and things like that. So if your stuff's not getting a lot of likes, not a lot of people are seeing it. So if you want your SOI to see your post, you're going to have to pay Facebook. So but if you were to combine that, some Facebook posts, now don't get all spammy on them and show them stuff all the time. Do some personal posting, with some personal thing. It's social. Remember, it's social media, not just advertising media. But then on, every once in a while, just throw a nice Facebook or a business page post, like a good post about, hey, I'm trying to find some, I have a great family. Even describe the family a little bit. I got a husband and wife, 2 kids, and a dog and a turtle. And, we're just having a hard time finding them a house. And who do you know that's considering selling? What a great little Facebook post to throw to your SOI. But the idea, because remember what the goal here is, the objective here is what? The objective is to train our SOI to think. See, remember, our SOI knows people that are moving, okay? They already know people that are moving. What it is, they're just not paying attention to the people that are moving. So we need to make sure, we need to turn their brain on so that they started noticing the people that they already know that are moving and to call you, that you're looking to help them with it. So that's the whole concept behind that, right? So if you're doing that with postcards, our monthly postcards we send out are definitely, what do you call it? Keeping you front and center as an expert in the real estate market, and then, phone calls, and then cards. What about cards? Let's make a commitment to cards. Let's make a commitment to sending out 2 or 3 handwritten cards a day, right? If you just send out 2 or 3 handwritten cards a day with your business cards in there, people are going to open it up and read it. Because remember, what's the purpose? The purpose is to train our SOI to notice the people that they already know that are moving, right? The theory is, they say everybody knows 6 people a year to move, but they're not paying attention. They're not looking for people that are moving. We are. So we want them to start noticing the people that they already know, and then to call us, right? So they're getting handwritten cards. They're going to see a Facebook post from you here and there. They're getting postcards from you, maybe a quarterly phone call. I promise you, if you do this, your referral business will grow. I mean, it just simply will grow. And it's about the least expensive thing you can do. Everything else is expensive. All these, just cold ads and things like that are just, I think the best Facebook ad money you can ever spend, my opinion, is on your SOI, rather than people that are, that don't know. You're competing against 10 other agents for the same business. That's like, who wants that crap? I know I don't. So anyway, any thoughts, questions, concerns, hallucinations?
Can I ask a question?
You may. Who's this?
This is JC.
Hi, JC.
So there's been a couple times in the last week or so that I've had my SOI people contact me, and they're like, hey, my boss is looking for a house, so I gave her your information. I'm like, wonderful, blah, 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 what'd you give her? But I haven't heard anything. So how do you go about
that's good.
Getting their
information? Okay, let's just role play that right now. So I'll be the agent, you be the person that said it. So let's just do it.
All right. You want me to start? So,
yeah.
Hey, Rob, I was talking to my manager, and she's looking for a real estate agent, so I gave her your information.
Awesome. JC, hey, first of all, I want to say thank you so much. Let's do this. Why don't you go ahead, give me his or her name and number, and I'll go ahead and give them a call right away, okay?
She didn't want me to give you her information. She wanted me just to provide your information to her.
Got it. Okay. And then, so what's her name?
Beth.
Yeah. See, then what I would do is I would go to your Facebook account and I would look for Beth.
Okay.
That's what I would do. You got to become a stalker.
Okay.
A legal stalker.
Right. No, that's a good idea, because I got 2 of them, and I'm like, well, I haven't heard from either one, and they're like, well, maybe they're waiting.
So the first thing you do is, so then the next thing you do, as soon as you hang up the phone, what you do is you get a handwritten card, and then you get a handwritten card, and you throw a $20 bill in there. Hey, thanks for thinking of me. Throw a 20 in there with your business card.
Okay.
Get it in the mail, right?
You could also just say, sometimes people just forget who gave them the information. So saying something like, hey, I'd love to reach out to him. Just ask him if it'd be all right if I give him a call. I'm not going to pressure him.
Right. Yeah, do whatever you can to get their number. Because we're starved to death waiting for people to call us.
Right. Well, and if I send them some business cards, then they can just give that to them, so another follow-up, right?
Right. But the idea is by sending them money, right, you're rewarding them, and then you call them up, say, hey, did you get my card? Yeah. I say, yeah, if I had had their phone number, there would have been a 50 in there. Right?
Right.
Why not, right? So, what else? So that's it. Speaking of which, that little role play, what do you call it? I had this idea. So Bruce Keats, one of my old coaches, he used to do a thing on Thursdays. It was role plays, where it was every Thursday had a certain time, and it was just a role play, and they would have, and it'd be just short and sweet. They would maybe have a topic, and I get, whatever topic. I guess if you guys had a topic just like today, how do you do this? So we could actually have a role play. What do you guys think of doing something like that? Is that something you'd participate in?
I would participate, Rob.
Anybody else? Apparently not. Hello? We're still not on mute, right?
Sorry, my dog's barking. I would.
You would? Okay, here's somebody just joining in. And this may not be a good call for it because it's a very, very light call today. So, what do you call it? So maybe I'll send that out in an email. But we'll try it. I mean, we got nothing to lose with trying it. So, because I think it's not a bad idea. Once a week, and then you just hear different role plays. Hear a FSBO script, hear an expired script, hear whatever objection people are getting. If you're getting objections, then that'll be a perfect time. And I don't mind doing them on these calls either. So, it doesn't matter to me. But I think, you have a training call and then a role play call. They're separate. And, of course, we'll record them, and you can always go back and listen to them. So, anyway, any other thoughts, questions, any other things that are because I forgot. We always start off with wins, and here we are. So, anybody have any wins since the last call? I mean, we skipped a week because our last call was Christmas Eve. We didn't do one. Does anybody have any calls from the previous call till now? Anybody? How about struggles? Well, JC shared one struggle. She's got people referring her but not getting their numbers. So JC, what about if you stop by her work? Say, hey, why don't you introduce me to your manager?
Yeah, no, that's a great idea because I've actually got two different people, and one is a good referral person that she gives me referrals all the time. So maybe I'll have to stop by and drop that information off.
Yeah, drop by with a little gift. Nice little plant card or something, Something women are good at. Men are like, whatever. Here's a coffee card, So, but the thing is, the goal. See, remember that. So you're already training your database, right? So there's two things we need to train our database, right? Is number one, we have to train them to see the people they already know that are moving. Number two, we need to train them to call us with the number. That's the thing. I've rewarded people, and I have one guy, when he hears of somebody, man, he's like, he stands next to him, he calls me and then hands the phone to them because he knows there's a 50 coming in the mail. Whether they pan out or not, he still gets a 50. So, literally, like I said, I've trained him. He's been trained. So, and that's what it takes. That's what this is about. So, and there's a lot to it. So, and then by constantly hitting them up with a question. So if they see your Facebook sponsored post, no big deal. Hey, I got this great family, that we're having a hard time. Who do you know that's considering selling? Remember, we're chasing sellers more than we are buyers. Buyers are easy to come across. We want sellers. And we want motivated sellers. That's another topic, right? I mean, if they're not, who here on this call we've all had that seller that they wanted to sell, but they weren't motivated enough to do what it takes to sell. And they're just 8 miles of bad road. They just are. They're not fun to deal with. You can never please them because They're not motivated enough to get to the price correctly. And remember, boys and girls, the pain of not moving has to exceed the pain of moving, right? If that's not true, they're not going to do it. They're not going to adjust the price to where, if you can get this much money, they'll sell. Well, that's not motivated enough. We're not interested in people that can say, if you can get me this, I'll do it. No, we're interested in people that say, whatever it takes to get it sold, let me know. Those are the people we want. Highly motivated people, you don't need to ask them for price reductions. If you do it correctly, in other words, if you send them a weekly email saying, here's how many visitors we've had online, here's how many, we've only had one physical showing, and didn't even get feedback from them. So obviously we're eliminated. We've been eliminated a lot at the computer. We've only had one physical show, and then they eliminated us. So it's price, condition, and exposure. So, and after about 2-3 weeks of that, they want to lower the price. That's a highly motivated seller. So that's what we're looking for, right? That's what we're looking for. So the whole objective is to keep looking for sellers. So any other thoughts or questions on that?
No.
All right. Well, so remember, call people today. Just wish them a happy new year, right? But remember, Wednesday, it hits the fan. Get on the phone. Anybody that was thinking from Thanksgiving on, so saying, I'm going to wait till after the holidays, you got to get on the phone because they're going to list with whoever's in front of them when they are ready.
Right.
You got that? They're going to list with who's ever in front of them when they are ready. So the more times you contact people, the more chances you have of being in front of somebody when they are ready. Make sense?
Yeah.
All right. Unless anybody has any other questions, I'm going to go ahead and end the call. And then I wish everybody here a Happy New Year, and let's make 2019 the greatest year ever, right? Also, for all you coaching clients, we're just going to do one group call because we haven't had a couple coaching calls in a bit. So I'm going to do a group coaching call. And it's kind of like going to be, because I got the same message for everybody. So I'm just not going to do 8 calls I'm just going to get everybody on a call. So even both weeks. So I want to try and get up both weeks on one call on Wednesday and just set up and lay out our foundation of what you need to be doing for the 2019 year.
Are we going to do dream boards?
Yes. When would you like to do them? I got to send out an email. Yeah, I'm more back in the work mode than I was before. So when we started that the last time, I was kind of getting in my holiday mode, So I'll send out an email. Let me look at my calendar. How about we try this Friday? And how about people on this call? Would you be interested in doing a dream board? So what, in the old days, you used to get magazines, cut out pictures, and put them on a board. But nowadays, you can show up with pictures. Or you can just go online and search for pictures. Have a few pictures before you get here. I have a great printer that we could sit there and I can build these in Microsoft Publisher, and we could build you a nice 11 by 17 dream board, and then maybe even get some, I don't know, and then go get it framed if you want, put it on the wall, make it nice. Some of those old dream boards, you go and they're like pictures half taped and glued, and the edges are curling and things like that. Well, I think if we, something in a frame where we can just, layer pictures on top of each other and have something really nice, I think you could do something well. So how many people on this call would be interested in that?
I would.
I would.
Say names.
Richard.
Trevor.
Hey, Trev. I know JC. All right, why don't we try this Friday? I'll send out an email, and hopefully that works for everybody. And for some of the prerequisite, have some of your pictures already picked out, so that, we're not sitting here spending time, everybody searching first. Already have, it doesn't have to be 100% complete, but, having a good good start would be awesome. Cool. Sound good?
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Well, have an awesome day, boys and girls. And as always, if you need me, just please feel free to reach out and contact me.
Have a good New Year, Rob.
Happy New Year to everybody.